I thought I'd show you the end results of this shifter conversion onto this GM gearbox to make it onto a LT230. There's the fiberglass cover that we made a long time ago, because we got a patent to make those now. And yeah, it's going to fit nice. You know, we've got bags of room here to move this backwards and forwards. You know, so that's easy, because we don't know really where it's going to go. But let me show you the linkage mechanism that I made this morning. Now, I made it out of steel, and it's a little bit off square this way, but it doesn't really matter, because it was just a prototype. I didn't know how it would go. In fact, this is the second one I made. The first one was too short. I couldn't get the height. So basically everything works. Your diff lock works. I've got a very short bolt through here. That's the problem with that there. And I need to have a washer between the two. The linkage here works. I had to weld a bit of stud bar onto there just to get the length. I used the Disco 2 shift unit, which is straight and not a dog leg. Oh, have I got one? I bet you haven't got one. Oh, you look. So that is a regular Defender one, and that's a Disco 2. All I had to do was bore the hole out to 10mm, put the bushings in, lengthen the rod, everything works out fine. So what I did was I clamped it, I made a plate and put a dog leg in it and made a box for it to fit in. And I also chamfered this down so that this pin had room to work. It's very difficult trying to replicate castings, especially when you don't really know what it should look like. But it works really well. I'm pleased with it. Biggest challenge was to put the nut in the back of here. I had to make a tube nut, like a long tube nut in there, because I don't know where it was going to be, and I welded that into the corner then, so then we can put that eye here running in and out to make the adjustment. But there's plenty of space, there's plenty of movement, everything works out nice. Yeah, kind of pleased with it really. So you can sort of see here our adapter plate. We've got space down the back of here, so we didn't have to chop that. I have to put a clip in the back of there. There is enough room to put the wire in on the plug. So there we go. So that's that done. The next thing is to work on the other side engine, the gearbox mounting. But I'll do that tomorrow, because my mind's going bonkers after making this. Honestly, it was like, so I had this sort of in mid-air, and I was trying to work out the linkages. And you can see this is the 300 TDI type linkage, but I had to cut it and put the dog leg going the other way. Normally it goes this way, so I had to put a piece of metal in, but it works fine. I'm not bothered about that. Yeah, so it's just a general lot of eyeballing up, and no, it works nice. I was just chatting to a guy today, and I said, well, if this project works, we could make those out of aluminium. It's quite easy to do really, out of a billet of aluminium, and just machine it. I don't know, we'll see. Fortunately, this gear shift has some dowels going through it. It had a rubber cover on there, so I'm going to have to put some silicone on that. But the dowels hold this plate into place here, so it's nice and firm. You see, and look at that, you see you don't need a slick shift on that. That's really easy to get into gear. So that's that. So the next thing, like I say, is to get the other mounting done, and then we should be able to plonk this into the car. Interesting, eh? Right, so that's that done.